Hello to my Scorpios. This is Queen Amara coming to you with your full moon message. All right, Scorpios, I'm going to tell you like I've been telling everybody else, beware of what could be jumping out in the road if you're traveling. Mainly deer. I know a lot of people are not talking about deer, but be very careful. Full moon brings out animals who are running across the road really fast, and deer, they are not stopping for cars and things like that. So you be careful, be mindful. I know a lot of drivers are looking out for other drivers, but also look out for they're still wild animals. They're cute, but they're still wild animals, right? And they get excited about the full moon energy just like you get excited, just like all of us get excited about full moon energy, right? So protect your energy, okay? Protect your energy. Let's get into it. Sending everybody lots of love and light. Happy holidays for those of you all who celebrate the holidays. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. Right? Don't let people put pressure on you. Let's do it. Overall energy is the death card. A powerful transformation is underway. Old layers are shedding, so renewal can occur. So emotional detox may be strong. So release energies that don't belong to you. An affirmation that I created for you is I welcome transformation and trust the rebirth unfolding within me. So you're in rebirth stage. You're feeling like new, fresh you, right? Somebody has this youthful spirit. I love it. You're feeling like your inner child. You're protecting your inner child. So something is new and fresh for you. A fresh emotional beginning or creative inspiration blossoms for you. Your intuition may feel childlike and pure. Listen to the soft emotional signals. And so an affirmation for you is my heart is open to new emotional clarity and gentle inspiration. So I'm talking to you wherever Scorpio is in your birth chart, not just your sun, moon, rising, or Venus. Remember, neither one of your ruling planets, is retrograde right now. But we do have 4 planets that are retrograde. Jupiter is retrograde, Neptune is retrograde, Uranus is retrograde, and so is Chiron. And so you are learning yourself. So it is the way I teach cards is not necessarily look outside of yourself, but all the answers that you need are within. That's how I teach cards, reading cards. So if you're looking outside of yourself, and if I mention a zodiac sign, even though these cards are associated with zodiac signs, and that's triggering you in a negative sense, it's time to learn how to close out cycles in love. And it's not about how the other person is going to feel if your intention is sincere. Oh, they don't want to be my friend anymore. They're not talking about me. They're jealous. Okay, that's how they may feel. You may not. You may feel like, okay, hey, I have some deep emotions about something. I'm on this rebirth side. I'm seeing something through a different lens. You may be called to purpose, right, for something. You actually have something in common with someone. You feel like you're in this, you may have felt bullied by an organization, like they were playing mind games with you. You're like, I don't like that. It feels good when you feel like, okay, I'm new to something. Can we start at the beginning? Like, I want my inner child to like explain it to me like I'm 2. Like for real. If you gotta explain it to me, like if you gotta draw the shapes, if you gotta explain it to me with colors, I mean, remember, people learn differently, and you don't want to be made to feel like, oh, you should know this already. That's what a lot of people experience in workplace. Like you'll see, it just depends on who is training or who's in training or who's the signs of a good trainer. Like if you ever taken any kind of like in-house training courses, really good trainers, they don't really mind. There's really no respecter of person. It doesn't matter who's raising their hands. If they feel like they need to spend a little extra time with somebody, they may say, okay, because they're trying to stay within a certain time. They may say to the person who may need a little extra time, hey, you know what? I got a little extra time after, we can talk about this over lunch. I can put together a little group. We can get together during lunch. Maybe anybody else got any questions? Write your questions down. You know, I brought a bag lunch. Maybe we can do a brown bag lunch. You know, we can do that, right? That's a person who is creative versus, you know, the shifty eye, because they feel uncomfortable about something. They feel like they're a fish out of water. They new to something, so they feel shifty eyed new. Okay, so everybody else got to feel uncomfortable. Well, ma'am, sir, you the one that's in the front of the class. We can't raise our hand. Like, what's this? Right? So somebody likes when somebody asks questions, right? And so somebody is moving on. Yeah, somebody's moving on. Yeah. Yeah, so this is not about putting people in survival mode. Nobody wants to feel like they're being bullied. You know, like they've been coming at with, 1,000 questions. Like, if you want to kind of all get together, you know, and just, hey, let's all, get together, where somebody feels like, okay. So somebody is moving on. You're moving forward. You're moving forward. Yeah. So, hidden influences of the Five of Swords, unresolved tension, mental conflict, or past disagreements may be affecting your field. And so you may sense others' unspoken frustrations. Don't internalize them. And so an affirmation for you is I release conflict and claim peace in my mind and spirit. Right? Right? In my mind and spirit. So this is about just flexibility. It's really, really about flexibility. It's about, compromising flexibility. And so, again, being prepared, giving other people an opportunity to be prepared, being open. So if a person says, hey, if the trainer says, hey, why don't I can take one-on-one, somebody could be okay, or I can take 2 at a time or 3 at a time, or I'm open, or whatever the case may be. Being flexible. That's what water is. Being flexible, but a firm no. The flexibility. Somebody is looking back, right? This is what you have in common with somebody kind of sort of looking back. And what you dealt with in the past, we're talking about the number 5 here. The number 5 is you dealt with people who will win at all costs. There's no flexibility. Like basically somebody is like, okay, they're not, what you've dealt with in the past with certain people is like they're not budging at all. They're like, okay, this is how we built this. We doing it this way. No. But when a person is at least turning around and saying, okay, you know what? I'm open. Maybe we can kind of toss that around and see how that works. They open. Okay, we can work with that. So somebody has risen above the judgment. So you've recently experienced an awakening or truth revelation that shifted your priorities. And so your sensitivity has sharpened, helping you see people in situations clearly. And so an affirmation that I created for you was, I honor my inner truth and I rise into my highest self. Right? So somebody's learning how to put an end to being so fixated on something. Like being so fixated on, like I always say in my readings here, some readers say sun, moon, rising, Venus. I'm reading to your entire birth chart. I'm trying to teach my collective community who tunes into my channel, all the answers that you seek are within you. When you're looking outside of yourself saying, my ex-friend what's your polarity sign? Taurus. Let's say your ex-friend was a Taurus, your best friend was a Taurus, and your best friend, Taurus, really did something to... Okay, so I had to make a little bit more room. But yeah, so let's say for instance, because your polarity sign is Taurus, let's say for instance your best friend Taurus did something for you as a fixed sign, and Taurus is a fixed sign, something that you felt like at the moment this was unforgivable, right? And it took you a minute. You need some time to kind of sort of heal from it. Then take all the time that you need to heal from it. Even if a person felt like, okay, you were holding on to something. Guess what? They're your feelings. They're your emotions. You need time. Okay. That's it. That's all. You all rolled death card, and death is tricky, right? Closing out cycles is tricky. Y'all could still be on the same job and be running into each other. Y'all could have been. It's so many moving pieces to something. Y'all could have been. Y'all could have worked together, and then you could have ended up being their manager. And so there's the dynamics of that could be strange, weird, different. Something could just be different about something, right? So if it takes you a minute to process whatever, then it just takes you a minute to process. All right. That's it, and that's all. I mean, for real. That's it, and that's all. And that's it. I mean, that's it. I mean, I don't have any else more to it. That's it. So somebody is new to something, and I'm seeing these. This right here. Somebody. A Taurus moon felt bullied. A young person felt bullied, and it ended them. And somebody felt like, somebody was faking compassion towards something, and they put an end to something. They put an end to something, right? They just called it out. They called it out. They took one last look back, called it out, put an end to it, rose above the judgment and kept it stepping. This right here, they put an end to it, right? They really mastered their 12th house. And this is what I'm talking about. All the answers that you seek are within. The way I read cards is I'm teaching my collective community to master each house. That way you can keep it isolated. If you have an issue with a person, place, or thing, that's what you have an issue with, right? You can't blame an entire organization for something, because people can hide within organizations. I've seen it happen way too many times. Way too many times. Somebody could hate an entire organization and say, I don't like that organization, when it could be energies within an organization that could be targeting people. So it's just saying somebody is learning how to walk away. Somebody has walked away from something. Yeah, somebody has, walked away from something to learn about something, to learn about, career, life goals, achievements, public image, the masculine aspect of things, social status, and fame. Somebody has learned how to master something, learning how to walk away from something, to learn how to healthy work-life balance, right? And start from the beginning, like really learn how to start from the beginning, because that's what it's really about. Start at your first house and move around to your 12th house. So you're having a total recall of something. A total recall of something, right? With clarity, right? How to make connections. How to make connections. Somebody is just transitioning. Somebody is just moving on through. Somebody's transitioning, moving on through. 5 and 1 is 6, right? Somebody's taking a look back. They just kind of going back and communicating. Remember, Mercury is no longer retrograde. And so things are crystal clear. Somebody said, okay, they're going to put an end to something. They just communicating something. They've already risen above the judgment. They just communicating something. Let's just make something clear. Basically, somebody's saying, hey, let me just step back for a minute, right? This is 11th house. Let me step back to the 11th house. Aquarius rules 11th house. So that's star energy. A star is not jealous of another star. If you were born to be a star, we're talking about you've mastered the number 11. You look at both sides of the number 11. You've already gone through an initiation process, right? You've already gone through an initiation. You stepped through the pillar, seen, unseen, known, unknown, dark, light. You've already gotten off the fence and enlightened people. So who else is a threat? Nobody. You're already a star. You were born a star as soon as you came through them legs, right? Coming out the womb. I mean, let's like anyway. Thinking of this Joker comedian said. But anyway, so Source is trying to help people understand you're a star, you're a star. Somebody is mastering. We're not talking about famous. not the same thing. Star is teamwork. Star is community, right? That's what star is. Star is your water is shaped and guided by the earth that holds us around us. So, hey, you're learning how to adapt. So when you take a look around and somebody raise their hand and say, hey, I want to be a part of a team, you're learning how to adapt. You're a star, whether you sitting down or you standing up and the spotlight is on you, you still a star. So you can't be rigid, like in a, oh God, the spotlight is on me and I'm the trainer. And somebody asking a question, I feel uncomfortable. I only know one way of doing. I'm winning at all costs. That's not how it works. So somebody had to double back and make something really clear. That's just what you have in common. This is what you have in common. When it's about community, somebody have been doing community work since they were little. And some of those things show. Some of those things show in people. Some people have been volunteering literally since they were kids and love volunteering, love doing community efforts, right? Secretly doing community work. And it shows. There's a rebirth here. There's a rebirth here, and it's very, very clear. Very, very clear. So somebody's having a total recall of something that you have in common with somebody. A total recall. So you putting the past behind you. Something has come to an end. Yeah, something has come to an end. Once you're doing some, once you know, that's why I suggest that all parents, like they do it with their kids, do some kind of community work, volunteering, whatever. No matter what your socioeconomic status is, always take your kids to do some kind of, you're keeping them close with you, but you always take your kids to do some kind of community work, some kind of volunteer, whatever, just to be around people, whether they rich, poor, whatever socioeconomic status, the social skills. That's just one part of it, just one part. But to teach people giving, community, how people come together, those kind of things. So somebody was talking about somebody's winning at all costs, somebody's a bully. Here we have, but it was mirroring, somebody was talking about themselves. Here we have your peace is paramount. Don't give yourselves a headache. You ain't giving yourself a headache over something. You are who they pray for. Dance around your home as if no one is watching. You know what? I'm sitting here laughing because okay, so here we are. Okay, here we are, the holiday season, and what I'm laughing at is this kind of like this personal story of like when I was little, we went from door to door, and I was volunteering. I was a kid, and we were going from door to door singing Christmas carols. It's me and the group of kids that were my age. We were singing Christmas carols. Oh my God, we were so off. Okay, it was just off. Anyway, don't cast your pearls before swine. But we thought we were doing something. We were doing, it was a community effort. We thought we were spreading cheer. I guess we were. We were kids. We were knocking on doors and singing Christmas carols. It's time to expand your brain. Adjust your crown. I guess we were getting our throat chakras together singing. But booked and busy, not bitter and burdened. I see you being booked and busy and not bitter and burdened. And so somebody hasn't been completely honest with you about something. And so relax. Right. So that was the American Idol before it was American Idol. But open your vault door. But you are an answered prayer. Yeah. So I see you doing a rebirth. Here we have make room for a new blessing. Back straight, walk away. So yeah. So like I said in the beginning of the reading, everybody be safe, be careful, because full moon really does bring out, as cute as deer are, they are not paying attention to the road. They do be bouncing across the road. looking cute, bouncing all high, but not paying attention. People driving extra fast, all this other stuff. There are some people who want to smooth some things out with you right now because they were wrong about some things. They want to say they were joking, they were playing. But it just speaks to a whole big thing about people not even really knowing you, not really taking the time to get to know you. They're going on some teenage behavior or competition, whoever this is, you know, but they don't really know you. Didn't take the time to say, okay, I need to grow up. Somebody was acting like y'all were between the ages of 15 through 21 years old. This is a family member or friend, or somebody who's like a family member or friend. And you just, like I said, it's rebirth. You really took the time to say, okay, I'm going to educate myself on all 12 houses. Whoever you are, I'm going to really get to know me. I'm going to see what sets me apart from every other Scorpio on the planet. And that's a good thing. That's the best that you could have did for yourself. It's like, okay, I'm going to learn myself. I'm going to go within for answers. And I'm going to go through my own rebirth. So I'm seeing some kind of a partnership and alliance here. Yeah, because otherwise you're going to keep pointing at everybody else. Let me look at self. So that's what somebody said. Somebody, you said, let me look at self. And that's what I don't really see. When I was speaking of singing, where I'm going from door to door singing Christmas carol, I don't really see kids doing that anymore. But and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, oh my God, what do we sound like? We're knocking on people's doors, child. We were not in unison at all. We had one adult from the church that was like, you know, the director. Okay, like, oh, okay, let's go. I don't know what we sounded like, child. We sound like we tried. That's all I can say. So a new romantic cycle begins. A new romantic cycle begins. Woo. So that's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm seeing here. So when we're talking about creativity, and what brought that memory back was page energy, because that's youthful energy, and we're talking about water. And so water speaks to sacral chakra, which is a variety of things. And part of that is music. Part of that is music, variety, right? Creativity, variety, like what makes you happy, what makes you smile. So that kind of brings back a memory during the holidays for me. And so when you're thinking about cycles closing, you can choose, like pick and choose when you're closing out cycles. Obviously, I'm not a kid anymore, but I can go back to my childhood and think about that and just go, gosh, we were trying to find our rhythm. We were trying to sing in unison, and we were just like, okay, somebody should have just thrown us some keys and be like, somebody go find the key, find the right key. What key are you singing in? It was a mess, but we were trying. So this would be like looking back, you know, like trying to get, you know, our little throat chakras together. Didn't even know what a throat chakra was, right? Didn't know what frequency, none of that, right? Just knowing that, hey, here we are, we volunteering, we want to spread some good cheer, you know. And then the adults that were opening the door, you know, they were like giving us courtesy smiles, like, oh, okay. This is nice. Kids, they trying, poor things. They can't even sing on key, poor things. You know, so they were being generous with us with just the smiles. So, you know, I think that we were trying to, you know, put smiles on certain people's, you know, on people's faces. But this is what I'm saying here. You're going through some kind of a rebirth. So here we have 30, higher self, right? So somebody is now like, obviously 0 adds to the value of 3. When you put it behind 3, it adds to the value, you know, of number 3. So something is adding to value, right? Somebody is seeing something now. See these eyeballs? See these eyeballs. But yeah, this is how somebody gonna be looking when they driving, when they looking for deer out there. Because I'm telling you, these deer out here, I see it every time I get in the car and look out, like, okay, here come deer, you know, pay attention to these. Because they all excited because it's a full moon, so you pay attention. Let me see what else we got going on. Let's see. Did we get it? Did we get a card? But yeah, somebody is not going to be casting their pearls before swine, you know, as it relates to, you know, the new things that you have going on, like new projects and stuff. You're just gonna be moving on. You know, somebody gonna learn how to just like, you know, when you're moving on from things, you believing in your dreams again, you're going to be just kind of, I feel like somebody's going to, when you're closing out cycles and you're praying about things, you're going to pray about it and just get some guidance from source, and be spirit led, like really spirit led, as you're growing your abundance and prosperity, because some things are going on behind your back that you weren't even aware of. And that's what you have in common with somebody that you're moving on, some kind of a new partnership. I'm grateful for everything, right? I am source. This, so as you're moving forward, you're just doubling back, gaining some clarity, you know, communicating some kind of clarity to just close some things out, close out cycles in love. Yeah. I don't feel like there's any jealousy at all. I don't feel any jealousy whatsoever, period. I just feel like somebody's just kind of taking one last look back and just saying, jealous of what? Like, you want everybody to be in there, and I'm not, and I know what the energy I'm picking up is that you're not even saying it in sarcasm. It's just more of like you're just moving on, you know, from something. You're just trying to grow your abundance and your prosperity, and you're not holding space for any toxicity whatsoever. And that's what you have in common with someone. You're not holding space for any toxicity whatsoever. And so that's what you're cutting ties with, right? And so you're moving on from any past disappointment. And this right here would put you at, you're moving on. That's it. You're just transitioning. You're moving on to calmer waters. You're just talking about something. That's it. You're just moving on to calmer waters, and that's it. Somebody just doesn't like drama. Really, you don't like unnecessary drama. I don't blame you. That's what I have for you. All right. Bye.